Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm building one of the penthouses, the smaller penthouse in San Myshuno. I was thinking about this the other day really because I was like, you know what would be a lot of fun would be to build the penthouse um, into more of like an artist's loft almost. And I mean that in the sense of like I was just like, you know, it would be a lot of fun to like make an artist's room with like the art kit and everything. Um, and then I was just like, you know, or an art studio, not an artist's room. Well, I guess it's kind of the same thing, but whatever. Not 100% the point. So that's kind of what I decided to do, and I really like the layout. Oops, sorry, I dropped my mic. I really like the layout of this lot, I will say. So when I initially bulldozed it, I didn't want to actually bulldoze it. I thought it would just, because, you know, apartments, they're like, oh, you can't, change the walls and everything. So I thought it would kind of be the same for this. Turns out that's not true. So it kind of actually makes me want to go back and do like the bachelor's penthouse and kind of see what I could potentially do with that one. And make that more into like a green building almost. Hopefully, I'll try to do it, and hopefully you guys kind of see the vision that I'm going for. But anyway, I really wanted to do this penthouse into like a more of an artist studio, just something like a lot more friendly. I don't know how else to put it. Like something that, you know, maybe it's like a one person, single person, or maybe just like a couple who decide to do like no kids or something, and they live there, and it's just something fun. And I wanted to change the walls because I felt like the walls were really dark, but then I was also like, if it's gonna be like a artist's studio, then I like want them to have and you can see me like hesitate because I'm just like, I don't know what I want to do first. I got like so overwhelmed. I am so sorry about that. That just flew out of my hand. But I wanted to kind of, do everything all at once was really my problem. Like I wanted to put the lights, but I also wanted to change the walls. But then I was like, I should put the lights first. And then I was like, but I want to change the elevator, but I want to do this and I want to do that. And then yeah, so eventually I figured out what I wanted to do first. Um, and I go through eventually and change all of the wallpapers, but I like the idea of these chandeliers from, it's the Storybook Nursery kit. One day I'll remember all the names of the packs and everything. I also decided to delete all the windows because I wanted to go for like a different vibe and everything. And I also thought I could extend this wall. Can't extend walls. But see how I got confused. Sorry, I don't mean to be like so jittery, but like, do you see how I got confused because of the fact that I could delete all the walls, but then I couldn't extend that wall out? I guess I just don't understand sometimes the apartment, I was going to say lifestyle, but that's not even a little bit what I meant. Like the apartment living type of situation. So some days I'm just like, okay, so I can't change the walls, but then it's like, just kidding, yes, you can change the walls. And I'm like, okay, but is it I can change the walls or is it I can't change the walls? Anyway, not the point. So I wanted to go for like fun vibes and like still keep a lot of that like textured wall, so like the bricks and stuff, but then I also wanted to have like a fun wallpaper. I ended up not going with this one because I did not like it, but I just wanted to do something a little bit different and a little bit, I don't know, out of my comfort zone, but also just like something you would find in like a rent controlled apartment that you inherited from your like great aunt or something in New York City. So you're just like, okay, I can't really change too much, or maybe you put like the peel and stick or peel and whatever. Yeah, no, it's peel and stick. I'm right. Like paint or not paint. Oh my god, what is it? The wallpaper, that people do, like the renter friendly one, so they won't get charged like a shit ton for damages and stuff, because the landlord special is just to paint everything beige and put like 70 layers on it, so by the time you peel it all off, it's just like lead paint. Anyway, clearly I've thought a lot about this, but I just wanted to do something fun, and I eventually did change the brick color because I wasn't happy with the gray, and I felt like the more beige tones do work, and like, it's nothing against the beige tones. In general, like, I have nothing against it. I think I grew up, though, in like the early 2000s and early 2010s, and a lot of the tones were beige. I despise the color beige because of it, so I feel like that's why I tend to go with like the blues and grays and stuff. But I'm trying to be like, hey, beige isn't actually bad. I think you need to like it more. Just because I was so sick of it. It was always browns and beige. Like, I remember growing up, my entire house was like different shades of brown and beige, and they're not bad colors. I just, when you see them all your life, you kind of get a little sick of them. So anyway, again, not the point, not even a little bit the point. But I just wanted to change the flooring, put some different tiles down. I really do love a terracotta tile, and I feel like you can see that in a lot of my builds. I think they're so beautiful. And also, just with like the wall height, like this is not a wall height I typically use for my Sims builds, or just like in general, I would say. So I really loved the wall height that they had here, so I really wanted to utilize that because I felt like it was a really good wall height. That's just me though. I mean, if anybody else feels some type of way about it, I don't necessarily always love the big wall heights, but it depends what kind of, I guess, home or like layout I'm working with, right? Like I do think the medium ones are probably best, but I feel like we could debate wall. I really wish you had like an adjuster though, so sometimes we could like, because sometimes I don't want it as tall, but I still want it taller, if that makes sense. Anyway, not the point. I actually end up really liking how this turns out, and I really thought the bedroom was like a lot of fun, and I know a lot of the slitting, I wanted to say like slibbing for some reason, Paris Hilton, anybody, but the city living, there we go. One day I can get my words correct. The city living stuff is some of my favorite stuff. Sorry, I didn't know how to phrase it. The thing with the city living stuff is, though, they are very colorful. That isn't for everybody, and I understand that. However, I do think, like I was saying before, like I need to kind of get away from my comfort zone and really just like put things in there. I'll also say I chose a lot of things based on the fact that like I was imagining somebody having this like inherited from somebody, or like their grandparents just kept it in the family and like nobody's updated it since like the 1940s. So like a lot of the stuff is like very because I don't feel as if this is like very 80s 90s. I feel like that more like kind of like lacy, everything is very ornate and like doily almost, if that makes sense, is very reminiscent of like baby boomers, like old baby, like first generation baby boomers, if that makes sense. And I hope you guys get the vibe I'm trying to go for, but I'm just trying to I guess have a more eclectic vibe with this whole apartment and everything. I also just really like those Western posters, and I feel like, there's like a lot of random artwork, and I did try to definitely incorporate a little bit more, and I know I don't always do that, but anyway, also, this is where in the point in the video where I actually had to stop because I needed to go watch my nephew, and I totally started on a different part of the house. And also, this one is a little bit more slowed down than the first part, because the first part I felt like I went through so many things trying to find certain pieces, and I felt like the second part I do a lot more, so I kind of wanted to slow it down a little bit. Not by much, though. I just wanted a little bit more, slow down, but I still did, speed it up because I was searching through things a lot, and like I was taking forever in my opinion. But anyway, you might notice, you might not, but anyway, I wanted that more eclectic feel, and I just felt like I kind of was getting it, and then I kind of wasn't, and whatever. I really like how this turned out at the end of the day. I think it is a lot of fun, and I do think that, I don't know, again, it's like a perfect, like, oh, we're just starting out, and then, like, you could, if you really wanted to, like, make it, like, you could take away some of that patio space and some of that art studio space and make it into, like, a 2 or 3 bedroom, like, apartment loft thing. I guess it is technically a penthouse, but I don't know, I think of it, not that it's not, but I also think of it more so, as just, like, I guess, like, a loft, even though I know that's not what it is. But maybe that's what I'll do for the bachelor pad one. I'll make that one into a loft. But anyway, point being, it has the potential to grow, which is what I really, really like about this space. And I never play in this apartment enough. And I'll tell you, it's because I get lazy. And I know that's on me, and I know I need to just suck it up, but I do get lazy, and then I don't want to. And then I always like to have a backyard. I'm really weird because I have a lot of anxiety, so I need to like be by nature every day. Um, but if I like not, not that like nature is fake in some places, but like I like need to have grass and I need to touch grass like quite literally every day. It's very grounding for me. I do have a lot of problems and I know that, and I'm trying to work on it. But anyway, point being, that's also why I stopped working on the kitchen. Then I remembered that I did work on the kitchen and I needed to get back to that. I originally was going to do this small TV, and then I was like, it looks really small with how tall the walls are. So it is what it is. But again, I really love these storybook lamps. These storybook lamps are probably some of my favorite additions to the game. And it was funny because before they announced that they were, having the artist kit and then the story nursery kit, I was like, we need more chandeliers in this game. Like, we have a lot of like dangling lights, but we don't have like beautiful ornate chandeliers like this. So I was just like, what the heck? Why don't we have more? And then they have this one, and I'm like, honestly, I'm good with this one for right now, of course, until I overuse it and I hate it. But I love it. I love it so much, and it's stupid how much I actually really like it. Anyway, on to the kitchen. I realized I also am getting really sick of all the counters. Again, I don't know what's going through my mind. Maybe I build too much for someone who's really not a builder, but I'm not really liking anything anymore. And it's not to say that I don't like anything in The Sims. I feel like I use either the same swatches because I'm like, oh, well, I haven't used this swatch in a while, and then I don't like it. And I know that's on me, so I am trying to be better about those things, and I like that they came out with like a bunch of new swatches. So, we can really, decide which ones we want to use. So I think that I just haven't explored that enough, and that's on me. But I appreciate the Sims team for doing that. I also figured out we have like a rounded counter. And I decide to do something with this, and I'm happy that I did because I don't usually do things like this, and I was just gonna kind of leave that section like there instead of like making it like a full kind of like partial island counter. And I'm really happy I did because I like the look of it, and I really like the way this kitchen turned out, and I feel like it utilized a lot more space in a good way than I was originally thinking. I know, like, I'll only have realistically 2 Sims live here, but I like to think that there are people that have people over all the time. So they're gonna, like, invite friends over, they're gonna have parties, things like that. And that's why I put, like, a ping pong table and a game board. And you know what? That's just who I am because I was having a lot of fun with it. And then I finally got to the part where, the whole reason I decided to even make this is this artist studio like new kit, and like this is why I especially wanted so many windows and I made this ceiling specifically glass, was because of the fact that I wanted to be able to do this. Like, I wanted to be able to have like a beautifully lit room for the what do you call it, for the artist. Like, I love to think that like one of them is like not a struggling artist, but like people are like, okay, you're an artist, how are you sustaining your lifestyle? And then they're like married to like a finance bro, and then they're like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. But then it's also like, okay, but still, this is like a really expensive place. How are you guys kind of affording this? But they're like actually really good at art and just sell like a few pieces for good money. I have a lot of like imagination, you guys. I swear to God, I should have been a kid show writer. But also I feel like people aren't going to utilize this backdrop enough, but I think it's a really good backdrop. I really, really like it a lot. So I made kind of like one side the like actual physical art, and it's not that photography isn't physical art, it's just like you can't like texturize photography always in the same way that you can painting. But anyway, I decided to make one side like paintings and one side photos, which again, I feel like I don't utilize often enough, and I do try my hardest to utilize the big photo booth or cameras and things like that. It just, I don't always, but I really want to. So I am going to actually use this hopefully in like my gameplay, like my personal gameplay, and maybe I'll be streaming that on my Twitch. Also, I do have a Twitch. If you guys want to follow me, it's RINDOG88. I will have it linked down below, and my TikTok as well if you guys want to follow me there. But anyway, again, now I'm just like adding like little things, but I just want to take this moment and say, because the video is almost over, we have about a minute left. I just want to say, thank you for all the support. I personally, again, love the Sims community. I always feel like it's a very supportive community. And I just want to say thank you for all the support, all the views, likes, comments, whatever it might be. It really does help the channel if you subscribe, like, and leave a comment. And I'm always trying to grow. If you have anybody who would like to see my videos or you think would like them, please feel free to share them with them. And yeah, but I am on Twitch again. Like, if you guys want to come and say hi, I am trying to figure out the Grim Reaper series because it's really bothering me that it's not working now. Anyway, that's not the point, but yeah, I just wanted to say a big thank you. But anyway, back to the building. So we definitely have some fun things. I forgot that we got like new string lights with the Love Struck pack, so I decided to like do that. I wanted a place where, again, for these parties that I almost never throw, but I've been trying to be better about throwing parties in The Sims 4. So, where friends could come and hang out, where you could grill, and then like the other side is just really more decorative and everything. But yeah, so this is my little penthouse. I hope you guys like it, and thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in Wednesday's video for Legacy Challenge.